3 words. How would you describe your style?
Peaceful, modern, happy.
Hydrangeas or roses?
Hydrangeas.
Annuals or perennials?
Annuals.
If your cats could talk, what would they say about your garden?
They would say, "Can I eat this?" Hello, welcome. I'm Bethany, Chicago gardener, and I'm really excited to show you my space, so let's go. Sometimes living in a city, you can feel that separation, but here, I almost feel like I'm back in my hometown in Indiana, surrounded by fields of flowers. I grew up gardening. I grew up in Indiana, not too far outside of the city. I was helping my grandparents garden. Rhubarb was the plant I remember the most, and I actually did have a rhubarb plant in a pot when I first started gardening here. I knew I always wanted to garden, but I thought I had to wait until I moved out of the city, had a yard, and then I got tired of waiting, and this is what happened. There are so many things that when we moved to Chicago, I didn't think I was going to be able to do. I didn't know I could garden in general, but now I'm getting my hands dirty. I'm growing beautiful flowers. I'm giving flowers away to people. So it's just created this really happy, magical space for me. I tell myself I would love to have acres of land, but container gardening is just so easy. I control what goes in the containers. I can move them around wherever I want. There's less permanence, I feel like, with container gardening. So I would definitely have a ton of containers still, even if I had a yard. If you have any outdoor space, you can at least grow a plant. There's plants that are beautiful in full shade. I know that's an issue a lot with balcony gardening, but you can grow beautiful flowers. Again, begonias and impatiens will be full color for you all season. I promise you, it's so easy. So if you have one space outdoors, put a plant there, and then soon you're going to have a lot more plants because it is addicting.
If you could invite anyone to have dinner in your garden, who would it be and why?
So I have read the biography of Bunny Mellon, who did the rose garden at the White House, and I would love to have her here. I know she liked topiaries, so she could train me on how to make some topiaries, but I think she's who I'd pick.
What would your ideal garden party look like?
All my friends would be over here and their children because their kids really love the garden too. I would probably have a flower crown making party, and we would just sit out here and relax and enjoy. We are gonna start today in my patio garden, which is actually the only part of my garden that's at ground level. This is completely new this year. None of these plants were here last year at all. Oh my gosh, it was the first time I've used a shovel in the 6 years I've been gardening. So I was finally excited to be able to try plants that were a bit larger, that I knew could get large over time and not have to worry about, will they outgrow the pot? Am I gonna have to repot them? Will I have the space? So I felt like I had much more freedom now that I have some ground to plant in, even though it's just a tiny little patch of ground. These trees have been here for a very long time before us, and it was one of the things I wanted to keep because it's rare to have trees in your patio in the city, and it just creates the perfect canopy where you almost don't even feel like you are in the middle of the city. And what's interesting about this space is I never thought I was a modern style type of person, but there are so many black accents, the brick, that I'm leaning more towards colors and plants that I haven't really leaned towards before. I used to think white was boring, and now white is my favorite color to plant in this space.
You've got Little Hottie in the background?
We do.
So how do you fit Little Hottie into a space you've been working on?
Well, I love hydrangeas in containers. I have some in the ground, but for some reason, there's something magical about seeing them in a pot, and hydrangeas have always been my favorite plant. I thought I wouldn't be able to grow it because I didn't have ground, but now I like to pair the white hydrangeas with the black pots, and I think it looks stunning and she fits in perfectly. And what's nice about containers is that I can move it around and kind of create a new look to my garden whenever I want. So I like this space to be my relaxing area. So seeing the white and coming out and feeling calm in the middle of the city is nice, but my favorite color is pink. So I have added pops of pink. I have hydrangeas that will be turning pink in the fall. I have pink roses. So as long as I have some of my happy color in this space, I love it.
What's the last thing you do in the garden before you go to bed?
I come out, I see if anything needs to be watered. Luckily, it's been cooling off, so now I'll just come out and sit. And I just honestly like to sit and listen to the sounds, because I do actually have some nature sounds, and just stare at what I've created because it's going to be cold for about half of the year and empty. I actually started gardening on the roof. This space we just got constructed last year, but it wasn't done until November. So all of these plants here, it's the first year that I have them. So this here is the rooftop on top of the garage, and these are the fruit trees that I was talking about. I have apples, I have figs, I have peaches. And this was another thing that I wasn't sure as a container gardener could I ever have. And yet I do. And there's apples and figs actually growing on top of my garage. I think one of my favorite areas is the archway behind me because it is the perfect entrance to this garden. It's the first thing you see when you come out of the door from our house, and it's very welcoming and draws you down. I have climbing plants on it. I have some thunbergia. I have some sweet potato vine. I have some other plants, but these were the ones that were most aggressive in climbing the arch, exactly how I envisioned. I really loved the white flowers up here. As you can see, I have some Bidens. I also was leaning more towards light colors. So I have the light purple impatiens. This is actually my husband's herb garden. I got lucky enough that he is the chef in the family. So I've created this one little space for him. This was the first time I've actually had to grow flowers in shade. My other spaces are full sun, and I still love color. So I wanted to make sure I had plants that would work in the shade, but also were full of color, and impatiens and begonias solved that problem for me. You are going to get very strong if you are gardening on a rooftop deck. I'm so weak when I carry up a bag of potting soil in the spring, and by fall, I can tell how much strength I have gained. So it's just fun to see that transition from spring to fall, and then next year I lose it all and have to build it back up.
What's your funniest garden fail?
So when I think it was the first year I was gardening, I had planted some flowers, but also a pepper. And the flowers, I didn't know this, got larger than the pepper plant. And so they were blocking the sun, and I was asking for opinions, and someone said, why don't you just turn the pot around so that the shorter plant's in front? And I was like, that's right, I can move these. So that was probably the first one where I was like, yeah, that was a pretty simple solution. Nobody knows what they're doing all the time. You're gonna see pictures of perfect gardens. You get a little bit closer, I have things falling apart that you can't see underneath the flower canopy. Just know that everyone makes mistakes. I kill plants every year, so don't feel bad if you're not perfect. No one is. I grow a lot of cut flowers, so I like to make bouquets, and I'll just leave them out on the sidewalk, and we get pretty good foot traffic since we're in the city, so people will grab bouquets. I've gotten thank you notes back, which I never expected, about how it turned someone's day around. So being able to give away things I grow has been really great. Also, I will invite people into the garden, and they love being able to see this space. My why is to spread joy. It's not only joyful for myself, but I realized as I started sharing my garden with others, how much joy it brought to the community. So anything that I can do to spread a little bit of happiness every day, that's why I do this. Thank you so much for coming. I had a great time showing you around my garden. Make sure to stay in touch on YouTube and Instagram at Chicago Gardener, and I cannot let you leave without a bouquet of flowers. Bye.